time to use. I'll just let you know that if anybody in here is having an affair, I'm probably going to tell everybody. This is your chance to leave. Is it for you? Mm-hmm. Do you understand the description? So literally, if I walk here, like, at the end of her life, she's not getting very far without being able to stop to breathe. Are you bothered?
Well, I wait in law enforcement, so yeah.
Bro.
Hello everybody, my name's Hayley Hope. Thank you all for coming. It's absolutely treacherous outside. So when you leave, I just say try and be as safe as possible. That road coming along, we were the last people along, is really slippy. So when you leave, try and be really careful. So, who's never seen anybody like me before? So quite a few of you. I am a little bit nervous. If I hadn't known it was this posh, I would have put something else on. I would have come in a suit and a hat. I've done this a really long time. I've done this for 29 years. I'm from a line of mediums, and what that means is my granddad was a medium, his mother was a medium, her mother was a medium. So being a medium has went right back through all the generations. I'm going to use a really old deck of tarot cards. They're 112-year-old. They're going to fall to bits on this beautiful white tablecloth, and I'm going to use them to delve into your lives, right? Now, I am what's known as a psychic medium. The psychic bit is this. Yous would probably say, people will say, I've been to see a fortune teller, right? Now, I don't like that word. I prefer the word psychic. In the psychic bits where I've got these cards, and if you came to my house or came to yours, I would have a look at your life and see what was going on. So people will say past, present, future. Mainly what they do is they'll tell you what is the most important part of your life. So if you're going through trauma, they'll talk about trauma. You know, they'll focus on one particular thing. If you want to see your future, blah, blah, blah. The medium bit is the bit where if you went shopping, you would go small, medium, large. You understand? Medium's right in the middle. In a spiritual sense, medium just means in between this world where we're all alive. You understand that? In the spirit world, which is where you go when you pass or you cross or you die. I hate saying that because I don't like saying that, but and all I am is the medium, the messenger in between the two worlds. So all I'm going to do is communicate with your loved ones who've crossed over to the spirit world. This is my belief. If you've come in here as a skeptic, there's a massive chance if you don't get a message, you'll leave as a skeptic. I will warn you, I do not tolerate heckling. I play rugby, I'm from the West End. I'm from a part of Northumberland called Leamington. Just down the road there. I've got ducks, I'm a bit of a Northumberland. I've got ducks, I live on a council estate, but whatever. So bad. Now I do like to have a little bit of fun with you. I do like, in between messages, I do like to talk a little bit and just have fun. The reason being, I am a very experienced medium. I've done, as I say, 29 years I've done this. These nights are really, really sad, right? Everybody in here, if you've lost somebody to spirit, everybody in here is looking for a loved one. They're looking for a message. Now these messages can get really, really sad really quickly. And in between them, I just like to lighten the load by just bringing it up, because otherwise everyone would leave thinking, oh my goodness, I'm absolutely traumatised by tonight. So I'll just warn you that in the beginning. Also, you do get things like murder, suicide, abuse. You can get a lot of these things. So for the younger people, you know, there's no swearing, there's no, you know, sometimes they do get a little bit sensitive. So I'll just warn you that at the beginning. Is anybody in here a spiritualist or intuitive? Is anybody sitting in here thinking, I am very connected? Because I have to give you a little bit of a warning. So Olivia, what I would say to you at the start of the show right now is, before I start the show, say a little prayer to whoever you believe in. I believe in God, but I know you're thinking, how can she? She's a spiritist, because I'll do what I want. I'm also a lesbian, so there you go. I'll do whatever I want. Sorry. So what I would say is pray to whoever you believe in and ask for protection, because sometimes what can happen, and this goes for anybody in the room who gets a little bit nervous, what can happen is, just say we've got something like suffocation, you can tune in and you could start feeling choked. So just pray to someone and ask for protection, because I cannot release you from it. It would just have to wear off, right? Everybody's now terrified who's never seen a legion before. Right, please turn all your phones onto silent. I'm just going to have a quick drink of this. I do get a really dry mouth when I work, and it's because I talk so much, and I do apologise because I feel it's dead rude, but my mouth does go very dry during the show. Turn your phones onto silent. What I would say about social media is you can promote me, you can promote this beautiful place. I ask people not to put other people's messages on Facebook or social media. The reason being is because you do not know if that family appreciate. You'll know if your family could take that, but you'll not know if that family could take it. So keep your own business to yourselves. If you want to promote your message, that's fine. But I've seen this cause trouble in the past, so just please be respectful to each other. If you're drinking and I don't think I've got to say this, yeah. But if you're drinking and you start working yourselves, please go through the other bar, and work yourself through there. I won't tolerate it. That's something that I see in the West End of the pubs over there. It's not for here. What else do I need to say to you? Right, so this is the way it's going to work. So these ladies were asking what happened. So if you've never seen anybody like me before, it's a long-winded introduction, I do apologise, but it's just so you understand what I'm going to do. So if I die, if I go to the spirit world, I've got 6 children, right? And if I go to the spirit world, my kids go and see a medium. They are looking for something to tell them that it's me, right? So that I die, they go and see someone. There's 3 things that are important to me in my life, and that's my kids, my girlfriend, and my job. That defines me. So if my kids go, they are hearing, I've got a Hayley here, she's got 6 kids, she's with a girl, you're all sitting, how is she with a girl? Mind your own business. And then obviously the mediumship. If they just said, I've got a Hayley here, and they didn't say something that they understood was me, then it's not me. Do you understand that? Because that is something I would get through. I'd be like, my kids are my most important. Well, and my girlfriend and my job. So that's the way it works. So you're looking for a name and something that makes it your loved one. Do you all understand that? What else do I need to say? There's a misconception that I bring your loved ones with me, right? And I don't. You bring them with you. So when I go to people's houses, they'll say, you're not going to leave anybody here, are you? And I'm like we've already got a 4-seater car. I haven't brought all your loved ones with us, right? We're not knocking about in this 4-seater. There's 8 in the family, but we've got a 4-seater. Work it out with toss a coin. So your loved ones come with you and they'll leave with you at the end of the night. If ever you've seen a medium, they'll say to you sometimes, your dad is always with you, your mum is always with you. Now they couldn't be with you and also with me, it's not the way it works. You won't take anything home, or you shouldn't, Olivia, you might. Were you being spiritual, someone might just whisper in your ear or something like that, but they'll disappear, right? It's only because you tuned in like me. I close off the minute I get in the car, right? So make sure when you leave, you say, right, I'm leaving anything here, right? So, have I covered it? I don't communicate with animals. So if you're here to speak to your dog, I'm afraid I'm the wrong medium. Don't, because I get hate when I start talking about animals. I don't believe animals can speak English, but whatever. So don't be scared if you are the first person to get somebody through. Don't be scared to put your hand up, because the way this works is we'll move very, very quickly. So if you think it's for you and you don't put your hand up and you don't take it, I'm going to move on to the next person, and that would be dead sad. Who would absolutely die if I spoke to them? Who is sitting there thinking, if she speaks to me, I'm going to have a heart attack? This gentleman here, are you a bit scared?
I'm all right, yeah.
You're scared. If somebody comes through for you, right, and you know it's for you, get someone else, tap someone and say take it, because you'll regret it. You'll really regret it. Now I do ask your name because I can't read your minds, right? I'm not a mind reader. So I will ask your name, and don't say, well, you should know you're the medium, because it's just not funny. I've heard it for 29 years, it's not funny anymore. So is everybody ready? Now I'm blunt, I say what I say. This is a disclaimer of mine to use. I'll just let you know that if anybody in here is having an affair, I'm probably going to tell everybody. This is your chance to leave. Also, if you're pregnant and you don't want anybody to know, give us eye contact. You know, it's good tonight that we're all sitting this way. Like, do some... if you're pregnant, everybody knows, but you don't want to know the sex, stop us from talking before I start, because I'm going to tell everybody, right? I'm going to be like, oh, you're pregnant with a little boy. So just stop me from talking, and that's it. Let's begin. I'm sorry that it's so long. If you've seen us at other places, you'll know I go do it a bit quicker, but you're really new. So I've also got ADHD, so I twitch, so I do apologise. I can't help it, right? So let's begin. Like I say, don't be scared, right? What actually was your name?
Jodie.
Jodie, Jodia. And who's that gentleman with you? I don't know if I'm here, I'm just in this area. There's a lady come to straight away. Now, she might not be for you, I feel I'm more on this side of the room. And this is a lady with the name Margaret. Now, this Margaret could either be Peggy or Margaret, but she's definitely Margaret, and I'm here. I'm in this area. Who is this for? Don't be scared to put your hand up. No, it's this way, definitely this way. What's your name?
Pam.
Pam. Now, this lady is very, very nice, right? A really lovely lady. I'm caring, I'm kind, I'm very good at listening. Little bit too kind when she just goes, here you go, here you go, here you go. She wants to make sure everybody is okay. I feel like a mother. Is this your mother?
Yes.
You have got and had the most wonderful mother. I'm so glad you moved forward. I think you brought her down here with you. Who are these beautiful people with you?
Daughter and granddaughter.
Oh, what's your name?
Debbie.
What's your name?
Ellie.
Ellie. And did you know your great nana? Oh, it's a shame, you would have loved her. She's very, elegant. She's just very, I don't know, she's not like me. She hasn't got size 8 feet, that's for sure. Now, this is, and I don't know if this is more so, it's just around about the last part, she doesn't want help. Right, this is your mum. I want to make no fuss. Do you understand that? She's in so much pain, but she doesn't want, then, not now, she's free from her body. But she was in so much pain, and she doesn't want to make one bit of fuss. Look here, just go home, I'll be okay. And this was her, she doesn't want to be a burden to anybody. You know that, don't you? She would just, I'll just sit here. And she couldn't walk very far at the last stages, which is fair enough. She misses you, she misses your chats. She misses sitting down and chatting. Now, this is not about the spirit world, this is about the living world, right? So this is about your family, right now. Because she's making us feel as if somebody's going through their own hell. Do you know who that's about?
Can you say that again?
She's talking about someone in this world, so somebody who's very much alive, who is going through their own hell.
Yeah.
Who is that about?
You were right. Me with Brian. This my other half's got dementia.
So that's you. Would you mind if I just turned some cards, especially just for you, to help you? Would you mind if I did that?
Fine.
So this is the opposite of your mum, you know, you've got to care for him. You don't really have much of a choice.
Oh.
And he's Brian, you said.
Yeah. Walter, isn't it? His name's Walter Bryan, but Bryan.
Just because he wanted to call himself Brian. We'll never know, will we? Oh, this is so sad because your other half has been a really good man.
So sad.
Do you know people in this room, apart from your family? The reason being, because this is quite a personal thing, what I'm going to say to you, right? I'm going to break what I'm feeling down into just a few words, just for it to stick here so it's not too personal, right? And it is, be careful of a loss of £70,000. And I want you just to remember that, right? This looks like something gets signed after dementia, and I don't understand it, but just keep that. So make sure you read through paperwork, like all of it, right? Make sure there's nothing being signed away after the dementia. He's also got problems here, right? He might not even be able to feel them, but he's got problems underneath his rib cage to here.
He has had a heart bypass.
Has he also got bowel problems?
Oh,
No.
no.
That might be the next thing. I'm so sorry to say that here. You're a better person than me because I think that you taking care of him all of the time is really hard work. It is for anybody. And I wouldn't blame you for being frustrated. I used to go and visit my nana every now and again, and I could only bear to be around about an hour. That's awful, but she was really hard work. So, you know, I take my hat off to you, but make sure that you are getting the help that you need from your loving and supporting family. How old are you, Ellie?
31. That's me.
Are you trying for a baby?
No.
Do you want a baby?
No, not yet. I can't be.
It's not. You're not actually not trying.
No.
Right, because what I'm being given for you, right, is not that you're pregnant, right, absolutely not that you're pregnant, but the month of April is when you'll conceive, right? So if you absolutely don't want to get pregnant, I would avoid anything like that in the month of April. Just avoid it. And I'm very good at predicting babies. I predict everybody's babies. I'm good at like the finer details. So this is something you really need to take note of. Can you take a gentleman called John?
Me?
No. Where we're going with the John. Now Johns normally get Jack. So if you're young, Johns will be turned to a Jack. I thought I was looking for a man actually for this. Is it for this man? Yeah. Yeah, your man. This one. Yeah. Are you here for a gentleman with the name John? No. Who is? Which gentleman in here is? Would you say if it was for you, use men? Yeah. And it's not for you. What's your name?
Roth.
What's your name?
Roth.
Roth?
Yeah.
Ralph.
Oh, Ralph. I'm so sorry, I thought you said R-O-T-H, Roth. I was thinking, what? It's my list as well. Who's here for a gentleman called John?
I've got a John.
Who's John to you?
My brother.
In spirit.
Yeah.
Were you meant to be here with a man tonight? No, you were only meant to come by yourself. Were you supposed to come with a gentleman tonight?
No, but my husband's granddad is John.
I don't know, I thought this was for a man. And it's not used two men at the back. Would you say? And it's not for that man sitting at the back with his hairband on. No.
I've got a brother, John.
Is he in spirit?
No, he's not. He's in the living world.
And do you know if he's been named after anybody?
No. His full name's Jonathan, but he gets John.
What's your name?
Chris.
And who are you with, Chris?
My wife Amanda.
Hang on. I'm going to give some details about this gentleman. And if you understand it and you're just not a man, then you can take it, right? So this guy he was definitely in the military, right? So this is a man who was in the military at some point in his life for a very brief period.
Yes. But he's in the living world now, though.
So if I'm connected to spirit, so I think your brother's been named after somebody.
Not that I'm aware of. Joseph, there's two Josephs.
No, this is definitely John. I'll keep talking, right? So this guy was in the military who I've got. He left a little bit of money. Now, money is always something in this business. No matter if I go to the poorest areas to the richest areas, there's always, when money is involved with family, there's always going to be somebody in the room who's had problems with money in the separation of money. I actually think I'm with the two girls next to you, you know. What's your names?
Briny.
Briny, and this is your...
Well, we've got a step-granddad, John, who's in the spirit
Who's in
world,
the spirit
but then also my husband's granddad is
Right,
as well.
when your step-grandfather died, did he leave a little sum of £10,000? Now, it's not a little sum, it's significant.
It might have, I wouldn't know.
I want you, when you go home, when you speak to the older people, to find out about the money that was supposed to be split that actually got taken away.
I do know that he had two daughters that did fight about something when
That
he died,
this is it.
but I don't know.
Like, I think because you're sitting next to that man, I'm thinking he's all together. Now this is I like this man, right? I do like him. His service in the army, in his mind, in the services, wasn't the longest term he was in, and then he was out again. It was very brief, but he still did it. It's okay. It's okay. Am I allowed to say anything to you? Do you know people in this room before I say this? No, so you don't care if I say something or if I don't?
No.
There's somebody in the living world, right? So somebody here in this world who is connected to your family, who is breaking the law. Now I'm very, we're in quite a nice place. This is something I wouldn't expect to come out my mouth up here. And it's something to do with paying tax. Now, they might not even know that they're doing something wrong, right? But it looks like whoever is in charge of their money, right? So it's a self-employed person. Whoever is in charge of their money is doing something wrong, but it's actually them who would be breaking the law. So I want you to speak to anybody in your family close to you who is self-employed and tell them to check their books. This is really significant because someone's going to get in a lot of trouble. And the bill looks like it's about £50,000. Do you know what this is about?
Well, I think that's probably my husband's side. His brother's self-employed and...
A bit dodgy.
A bit dodgy.
Well, there's something to do with, like, they've obviously looked. The HMRC at any point can pick somebody out and have a look at their land revenue. They can just pick somebody out and have a look at your books for no reason. And I think he's been involved in something like this before, prior, so he's got prior. So this time he wouldn't get away. He's got I'm just going to say this, right? Because he's got his name and then he's got a name. But that name looks like it's also him. So it's like me going by my name, but then calling myself a different name. for the purposes of tax dodging. And then someone else is at the top of it putting his money in different places. So tell him that onto him.
Right, okay.
Right? Are you bothered?
Well, I work in law enforcement, so yeah.
It's actually you that causing mixing now. Do you know who the lovely lady is by the name of Mary?
Yeah, that's my husband's mum.
In spirit?
No.
But it's her son who's the dodgy one we're talking about.
Oh, right. Because I'm getting an image of a lady with that name, right? With her head in her hands. I did think she was in the spirit world, I'll be really honest. And her head is in her hands like that, as if she keeps saying the same words, where have I went wrong? Right? Now, she sees your brother-in-law as the blue-eyed boy, right? But she also knows that he's done things wrong. So privately, she's, where have I went wrong? But actually, she puts him on a pedestal. She's a bit of an enabler. Do you understand that? What is going on with these lights? This is Mary saying that. Oh, well, no, Mary's here, isn't she? Oh, sorry. Me watches started a high intensity speed run. Wait there. I'm so sorry. Wait, I'll have to stop it. Yeah. Right, let's have a look. Can you also take can you take the name Stephen?
No.
Right, I'm going to give you something, and you've got to keep it. Don't forget it, right? You can't just leave here and not take notice of it. There's no point. So I'm saying the name Stephen. He's not in the spirit world, right? But he's in a big flashing warning triangle, right? And he's going to put his foot into your family and wreak havoc. And it's to do with a woman. And you'll find out about it pretty soon after Christmas. Just keep that. And when it happens, you'll be able to inboxes and be like, oh my God. And it's going to blow your minds. Sorry. You've not only got like a tax evader, you've also got it. God, sorry about that. If you don't mind, what's your partner's name, your husband's name?
Sorry?
What's your husband's name?
Johnny Jonathan.
Johnny Jonathan. And are yous all together? No.
No.
You've got a good man. A really good man. It's not very often I get to say that to people. So when I say it, it's, you should take notice of it. He's a really good guy, and you'll be with this man probably for the rest of your life. Which is nice, people are not making it these days. People are splitting up. I think the pandemic made we realise how much we didn't like with partners. Not me. People had to spend time together. They were like, oh, I hate you. Anyhow, right, we're going to move on. Right, this is a lady who specifically dies with a chest. I'm not sure at this point if she's got lung or heart problems. I can hear the I'm thinking that's more lung because of the way she sounds. She was a smoker and then she wasn't a smoker, but she comes through smelling a smoke as if she would like a smoke. And this is Catherine. She might get Kitty, Katie, Kathy, but she is Catherine. She was a smoker that really ruined her own lungs. I think I'm on this side. Is it for you? Mm-hmm. Do you understand the description? So literally if I walk here, I'm like, at the end of her life, she's not getting very far without being able to stop to breathe. And what are both your names?
Rachel and Leslie.
Rachel, who is she to you?
My nana.
Your mother-in-law.
I was Rita's mum.
Let's have a look at that. Did you get on with that?
Me, yeah.
Oh, that sounded like a lie. if you've seen me before, you know I talk about, you've got your mum's mum, who's your proper nana, right, in my opinion. And then you've got your dad's mum, who's your other nana. Do you get what I mean by that description? She's not your proper nana, she's your other nana. Some people are the other way around. I think that's the way it goes. Like your dad's mum, you're never quite as close to your dad's mum. But this is really interesting because this lady really loves you. She regrets not trying to spend more time with you. Right? What is that? Oh. Sorry, because this is quite, it just got quite sad quite quick.
Spit it out, it's fine. I was expecting it.
Do you, if I say to you mental health, do you know what I'm going to talk about?
No, not really. Well, yeah, but no. Keep going.
It's not yours.
It's not mine.
It's not your mental health.
All right, right, okay, yeah.
So somebody, a young man or a man,
Yeah.
right, was very, very poorly with
Yeah.
his mental health.
Yeah.
And she's trying to show us this man, and I think that this man might not be here.
Yeah. Not related though.
Oh, not related.
No, not them two, no.
But you understand him.
Yeah.
And the problem I've got is he is afraid to come through
Right,
because of the way that he passed.
right,
Do you understand that? He's afraid of what you're going to say to him.
right, okay.
Like as if you're going to kick his head in.
Right, okay.
Do you get that?
Yeah.
But Rachel, you aren't you?
Yeah.
Who is this man that you don't tell us his name, but who is he?
Friend, a really close friend.
Like, and his death is unnatural. There's two ways you die.
Yeah.
Naturally, heart, lungs, whatever.
Yeah.
Unnatural, taking of your own life.
Yeah.
Accidental death. Murder, right? He is in the suicide section,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And he absolutely meant to take his own life, right?
Yeah, definitely.
He was so lost in this world that when he crossed over, he was free.
Instantly.
Like, he's just one of the nicest people you could ever meet. So even though he had mental health, it's a shocker because nobody would have ever believed he would have left his family and his friends.
Yeah.
It's just so shocking.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. If you hadn't have said he was your friend, right, the reason I asked, he was bordering on what a brother would love you like.
We used to say that, like,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Like, I thought your nana had brought your brother through.
No.
So he loves you like you're his sister. And I know there's no funny business.
No.
There's no, like, you've never been attracted to each other, even though you are both dead attractive.
Right.
I think he probably would have.
Have you got anyone with him?
I don't know. I don't know, I'll wait and see, because I like a name and he's just not given us his name.
Right.
But I'll come back, right? This is not his name or anybody in the spirit's name, right? If I say to you the name Surtees, who is that?
Never heard of that in my life.
It's a second name.
Surtees.
I'm just gonna still give you it, right? And you'll wake up tomorrow and you'll be like, oh my God, yes. You'll understand it tomorrow, right? Is your father still here?
Yeah.
To speak to him?
Not this week.
So when you see him, would you be able to give him a message off his man?
If you would take it.
It would be your unhealthy son,
Right.
right? He is the reason he would get to the spirit world quicker, and I don't mean suicide.
Yeah.
Whatever he does to his self is knocking years off his life.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want him yet. Do you understand that? But there's no telling him.
No.
Whether this is drink, drugs, smoking, whatever it is, there's no telling him. Your dad will do whatever he wants to do. Which is really sad for yous. I'm going to add something to this, and I do apologise because I know you haven't come here for like a counselling session, but I'm going to add this to you, right? When you were all friends with your dad, I would say to you, be really careful about how much attention you give him. If I never see you again, in the later years, he will suck the life out of you. Right? But you'll still help him. But it'll break your heart. So just be careful. Right? Do you understand that?
Maybe.
Just take my advice now, don't forget it. I don't think you will. What medium comes in an elf jumper, you know? Should have come in a cloak, I think, shouldn't I? And had one of them hairband things. Right, can you... I think I'm moving on with the Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that?
Grandad.
My dad.
This is a totally different man to anybody I've felt in tonight, right? Your dad is funny as hell.
Yeah, that's him too.
Great sense of humour.
Yeah.
He's bordering on crude, but he's not crude, right? So, different with yous, but if me and him were standing in that bar having a bit back and forward, he borders on what is rude and what is not, but he's never rude.
No.
Do you understand that? He'd push a boundary. Is hilarious. He's telling us that he's still a handsome guy in the spirit world, right? He's got a lovely ego about him, lovely, where you would, as people, this whole room would be drawn to him because he's such a lovely man. And he's doing that, and he's pulling his pockets out, right? As if to say, pet, I've got out left. Why? Why is that so significant? Do you understand it?
Mm.
So he's either tight and he's lying, right? Or something happened and that means something to you. Let's have a look. I love him though. He adores you.
She was always a favourite.
I meant to tell you, man. Not paying for a ticket, like, go away. Right, we're there. If I had your siblings in this room with us now, right, and we were all sitting having a conversation, they would say you had a different upbringing to them. But it's because your dad adored you. From the moment he saw you, he adored you. And you had that your whole life. And even when he passed, it was you that he thought about. Do you know that? As long as you had seen him and said goodbye or whatever, that's all he cared about. He loved everybody. That's not taking it away from you.
Oh, no,
Just she was his girl. Do you know what he's on about? I'll never get my feet in them shoes.
You think it was a pair of shoes that get sold for him? When known for a fact he was never had to leave the house again.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
that
And
must
they're
be
not dead,
it, yeah.
And then he deteriorated after
Uh-huh.
that.
I'll never get my feet in them shoes.
That took him down.
Like,
Unfortunately, to get them sold.
I think he just wanted to get you busy because he liked that, didn't he? He liked people being busy.
Sold.
Now this, I just say what I say, and sometimes it doesn't make sense to anybody else in the room, but I'm saying an old-fashioned square sink, right? What is it called? A lot of older houses have them. My nana used to have one, but they're worth a fortune now.
Belfast.
What there?
Belfast.
Belfast. I've got a metal council one. That looks like that with one tap. It doesn't work. And he's shown us this sink, and it's quite low down. And it's part of somebody's kitchen being revamped. So it's brand new, but old. And it's going to cost a fortune. Whose is that? It's quite low, the sink.
This is for an old thing.
Don't know.
Who's Denise?
My oldest sister.
Does she keep thinking someone's standing behind her?
No, I don't know.
Do you speak to her?
Not very Well, speak
'Cause
up, I don't say
The
that.
point in saying is, I'm standing at the sink, right? And I'm like, I keep getting the feeling that someone's behind us, and the message was to tell you that it's just him. But your dad's a bit of a prankster where he feels as if he would terrorise you. So he would scare you. Like when I come back, I'm haunting all my kids. Like I'm gonna wake up and they'll wake up and I'll be levitating above the bed like that. I'm gonna terrorise them all. Just because I can, like appear in a mirror. That would be hilarious, I think, wouldn't it? Not for them, but for me it would. Am I allowed to say anything? And I'm sorry that I keep saying that, it's just, am I allowed to say anything at all? Your dad feels really angry towards the living world, right? Now, we've just had a conversation about how much your mum's loved. So this is nothing to do with you. But he would come down and he would get 3 heads and he would bang the 3 heads together and say these words, how dare you? So it's something that has caused a ripple through your whole family. And I think that also ties in with the empty pockets. I'll tell you what that is, what I think it is at the half time, right? Don't let us forget, because it's dead private, right?
Well, just say it if you want.
No, because I don't know who knows your family.
No one.
How do you know?
So from Dentonburn, so from the Northumberland as well.
I'm from Northumberland.
Dentonburn's a little bit better than Leamington. Just a little bit. Oh, I don't know if I can.
Spit it out.
Did one of your siblings rip your dad off?
Hope not.
Hope not.
One sorted money out though. 1 out of 3.
See, I don't want to go any further because that would be me causing trouble. It's just the way he come through with the empty pockets. As if he'd had an affliction done to him. Do you get what I mean? Like, your granddad would have only wanted, say 6 years, 6 years to have exactly the same. Like, I wouldn't dare die and leave one of my 6 kids the money. I haven't got any money. So, it would have to be equal, and they know that. And this just looks a little bit just bordering on, this is not right. But he loves you very much. And unless you can take a lady, and I don't think you can, I might be wrong, who is Anne, I'm going to move.
Oh, God.
Who's she?
A mum.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm so sorry that I'm getting these cards are dying on your tablecloth. Oh, your mum is absolutely class. She's a great mother, absolute great mother. Would you agree with that? Otherwise, this is not your mum. This lady is wonderful, right? Soft as cloths, right? With a sharp tongue. So what I mean by that, right, is when your kids, Mum, can I have, right? No, you can't. No, you can't. But then if you keep pushing her, she's like, I didn't tell her. Didn't tell her you've got it. She's the nana that, you know, like, is smuggling your money when you leave. Do you know what I mean? You're going out and she's going, there's 20 quid. She's that nana. Now, she's not talking about her blood, but she's talking about one of your bloods. Is one of yours diabetic?
No, I've got blood disorder.
All right. And is it dangerous? Because this is, like diabetes can be really serious, but just talking about your blood.
Yeah.
Do you keep on top of it?
Yeah.
If you don't mind, what is it?
Factor V lines, I clot all the time, so like I've had open heart surgery to remove clots out of my heart and stuff.
So it's really serious.
Yeah.
And you've got to keep on top of it.
Every day, twice a day.
And does this, sorry, I'm so sorry to ask you this, right? Does it pass down?
It's hereditary, but we don't know how. So it could be through cells, or could be like, we're not sure.
Have you got kids?
Yeah.
What's the names?
Carter and Kingsley.
Can I check them?
Yeah, of course you can.
How old's Carter?
5.
And how old's Kingsley?
4.
Nothing wrong with either of these, apart from one's going to be like a wild,
One's not in living, like one's
oh,
not.
sorry. And it is the other one who's here, is it a wild,
Aye.
like as if he's been plugged in?
Oh, 100%, yeah. With the vault.
The one who's in the living world, sorry about this, is absolutely nothing wrong with him.
Right.
Like, there's nothing wrong with his blood.
Right.
The only problem you've got is that he feels like he's being plugged into the electric
Yeah.
socket. He never sits still.
No.
And you're a blinking good mother. Do you know that? I'm so sorry because I haven't got your little boy here. I didn't know he was in spirit. But hopefully he'll start running around here in a minute and messing everybody's night up. Sometimes they do that. If that tree goes over, you know where it's come from. Right. Now, if you can take these people are going to be like, I've put you here on purpose. I'm so sorry. Can you take a gentleman called James?
Jimmy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not here. He's not. He says no. I'm up the top with Jimmy.
I had an uncle Jim,
What's your name?
Sonia,
Who are you with, Sonia? Who are those lovely people?
husband and daughter.
Husband. And do you know him?
I did know him, yeah.
Yeah, is he all right? Like,
No,
was he...
he's in-
No, yeah, was he an all right man?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, no, it's not for you. If you're good in the living world, right, so if you're a good person and you die, you're still a good soul. If you're not good in the living world and you die, you're not a good soul, like you don't have a personality transplant on the way. Like sometimes I'll be like, I've got a person here who I can't stand, like I'll be like, I've got a person here that I'll use the word difficult. This guy is not difficult, this guy is lush. Now, I think as once you started speaking, I didn't think he was with you because he's a little bit rougher, right? So he's not with the nice voice, he's a little bit more Geordie. Where we're going with this, he's just a little bit more, like not as feral as me, but in the middle. He's a working class man.
I know James, but he's not Jimmy.
Right, who said that? Right, what's your name?
Katie.
Who would this be to you, Katie?
My daughter's dad.
Do you understand he's a little bit rough around the edges?
Mm-hmm.
Not as bad as me. Sorry. He's he is a good man, right? But not necessarily a good husband. Right? Do you understand that? A good partner. So if me and him were here tonight, in the living sense, and me and him were having a beer, I would really get on with him really well. That doesn't mean to say I would like him as my partner. Do you get what I mean? People would have really liked this man.
Yeah, people did like him.
But living with him would have been a totally different story.
Yeah, it was.
So like, we'd be sitting here, everybody in here would be like, Eva had a really good night with James last night. Comes home to you, totally different man. They're walking along the path. I can feel the dread if you were standing at the window looking. But I would like him. But I don't, the more I'm speaking, the more I can say the horrible things that he did. I think he's manipulated us into saying that he's a good guy. Because manipulation is top of the shop. Yeah, he's really good at manipulation.
He is very good at manipulation.
He also, the more I'm delving into him, he's very narcissistic.
Yeah.
And he thinks of himself as a bit of a ladies' man.
Oh, 100%, yes.
Who are you with? Who's the person that you're with?
This is my best friend.
And what's your name?
Samantha.
And did you know him?
Yes.
Do you know about the letter? Now, it's not just a letter, it's not just a random letter. Did you ever get the letter which was addressed to your daughter?
He was... I might know what you're talking about, yeah.
It's like something is written down, right?
He wrote letters last time we went on a tour of duty. He wrote letters for me and my daughter, but no, we've never got them.
Why?
They just never... He didn't die in the tour of duty.
Yeah, I know that,
Yeah.
but do you know in them letters, them letters
I
were
don't know whether he
so...
got rid of them when he came home. I don't know.
Oh, can I tell you a bit about what was in them as well?
Yeah.
Because this is not a man who would say sorry, right? He's not a guy who would take responsibility for anything that he did. If he did, he would then take it back.
Yeah.
So he would say, well, I only did that because of the stuff I've done, because of the stuff I've seen, because of what you've done, because of what everyone's done. And that them letters were his absolute truth. They were him, like, for the first time, saying that he understood that he wasn't the greatest man, and he felt like he'd let your daughter down. And I wish I had got them, because that's his truth and his love. Because he did love her, he just didn't know how to love.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, I love my kids unconditionally. I love them. I'm the mother who they get sick of, right? The cringe. Because I'm so proud of them, right? He didn't have that foundation, right, as a kid, to then go in. It's nothing to do with his service, right?
No, he was.
He didn't have this foundation. So his version of love is very different to mine and yours.
Mm-hmm.
He knew what he wanted to do, but he didn't know how to do it. And like I say, this letter was like, he could understand, he was pouring his heart out, and I wish his had got them. I think they still exist, you see, because there's no reason I would be talking about letters that had been burnt or destroyed. But I just think someone hasn't realised what they've got in a little pile.
We've got all of these belongings at home, but we haven't looked through
You
them.
have to go through them.
Right.
Because they still exist. And I think for your daughter, that's really important,
Okay.
because she's got this massive sense of abandonment. 1, because of his service. 2, because he wasn't a great father. And 3, because he's dead. Do you understand that? Like, that's, it's like this sense of everybody just, and she'll probably, how old is she?
20.
So, just to give you a heads up, the people I've came across in my life as a medium, what happens when things like this happen is people tend to hold on to relationships even when they're no good for them. So your daughter fits into that bracket of she could end up being with someone over a length of time that isn't very good for her just because she doesn't want to abandon them. Do you get what I mean? So it's really important, like, you speak to her about this. What was her name?
Natalie.
You've got a good kid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She's got major anxiety.
She does, yeah.
And I'm not surprised, like, she hasn't been through the greatest, not with you, you were a fantastic mother, right? But I think she's been let down, not only by him, God forgive us, right? But also his family.
Yeah.
And there's a woman who will contact her over the years at different times, right? Who would want to be involved with her, and I would say this is one of these occasions she shouldn't go. It's not the great big family reunion that you would ever want.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got a tattoo with James?
No.
Has she?
Yes.
And is that tattoo started like this now? It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
It's being added to.
Mm-hmm.
I can see a serviceman's helmet on a, not yet, right, on a bayonet, stuck in the ground like that, and there's the helmet over it, and it's beautiful, but it's big.
He had that.
Oh, he had that. She'll get the same one.
Right.
And then it goes into like a full piece. Doesn't make any sense because there's no war in this period. I don't know why I'm saying this. And it's the numbers, I think it's a year, but it doesn't make any sense because we're too young. And it's 1924, and it doesn't make any sense. But I don't know if that's something to do with something he has to write on a letter. I don't know what it means.
Not together, but those digits are in his military number, but they're not in that order. But they are in.
But is there only 4 numbers?
No, it's 8, but 4 of those numbers are in his 8.
No, there's something else. 1924. And I don't know what that means. Because I would have thought a year, but there's no significance to 1924. Well, there will be to somebody. But what is it? Yeah, it could be 1924, but that still wouldn't be. That would be the 1st of September 1924.
Could be the time.
Oh yeah, 724. Just keep the numbers, you'll not forget them, will you?
No.
So, tell your daughter, I mean, I don't know, can you? Yes, you can. Will you say something?
Yeah.
I would say to your daughter from him that he loves her very much.
He did.
He's the pride he feels, he doesn't feel responsible for. That pride is all yours.
He said that, yeah.
It's not my pride. I can't be proud of somebody I didn't create because she created this bed. So he's very proud, but like is a stand-up buyer. That's not a word, but whatever. Cut that out the video, will you? Yeah, so like say, I think if you said, right, he's proud of you, I think she would also be hurt by that. Because she'd be like, why is he proud? Like, why is he proud of me? He didn't do anything to make me this person. But he's not saying that. He's saying I'm proud, like, as a bystander, that's the word. Now, on this, because I've done about an hour, we'll go and get some beers. We'll have about a half an hour break, and then we'll come back with thank you for letting us speak to you. So we'll come back in about half an hour, so thank you very much. Thank you.